You're watching McKinney Vision, online, on air.
Hello, I'm Carl Shookman along with Mayor Brian Loughmiller, and welcome to this edition of McKinney's Mayor's Minute. Brian, we were just talking about how important transportation is, and I know that everybody is not real happy about 75 and all the mess out there, but that shows we're progressing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does, and I think, really what people need to do is, if you've lived in the area a long time, go back to think about what 75 was like coming out north of 635 as it expanded through Richardson and Plano and ultimately into Allen, and a lot of the development that occurs on the heels of that infrastructure improvement. So that's what we're going to see in McKinney over the next 4 to 5 years.
In a way, it's really an economic developer, isn't it, as far as getting new business in?
It is, and examples of that, for instance, the recently announced Emerson project on 121 and 75, and Traxxas, building their corporate headquarters here. A lot of that is tied to the ease of access onto the main highways. How close are you to DFW Airport? And just how do you move people around?
Industrial, the road out to the airport, it's still a little bit messy, but that's a vital part of this whole program too, isn't it?
It's extremely vital because as you look at the airport development going into the future, we want to attract corporate aviation. Addison is landlocked. At some point they'll be built out. And so you want to have that good approach into your airport for your corporate citizens, and it will be an improvement. And then of course we have 546 that's been moved south, which will be your main truck traffic access around the airport rather than Industrial Boulevard.
I kind of liken it to the intersection between 121 and 75. It took a long time to get it finished, but now it's really, really easy to get into the city, isn't it?
It really is, and it's not just that it's easy to get into the city just from a viewpoint stand. When you look at it, it looks like progress, it feels like progress, and it gives us more of a city feel as opposed to a small town feel.
With the economy starting to chug up a little bit now, getting a little bit stronger, do you see that our economic growth is going to be developing, and we've always talked about how things have to happen in progression, and you can't just jump onto things. It's got to be kind of a slow growth. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, I really do, and I think the message really is patience, because as you look at development, when 75 expands to 8 lanes through McKinney, which you're talking about a 3 to 4 year project, you'll see more and more interest coming in, whether it be retail development, office development, those types of uses, and I really do think we'll see that. We're already seeing a lot of interest in McKinney out by the airport. We're seeing a lot of interest along the 121 corridor, and of course over by the hospital. And now with Baylor coming in up on 380, we'll see medical offices coming in over there as well. And all of that is tied to what they perceive to be the areas that make the most sense from a traffic standpoint. Just how are we developing commercially in McKinney? Those are the main corridors: 380, 75, 121, and ultimately the areas around the airport.
It almost reminds you of what it was 3 or 4 years ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we are really getting back to that point where it seems like every other week we're talking about the potential for a new project.
And we'll be talking about another project too on the next time that we have the McKinney's Mayor's Minute.
Yes, we will.
That's it for this time.